Hey guys, welcome. Viking Thing, episode 5, Wally disclaimer.
Everything that's said on here is opinions of us, not of the company. There's gonna be a lot of swearing, so if you don't like that,
a lot.
Leave now. So it's gonna be rude. It's gonna be sweary. Get over it.
And the fine print.
Yeah.
The fine print, if you cannot read that, please go to Specsavers. Yeah, welcome back, guys. We're just going to have a chat amongst ourselves, and obviously we have the lovely guest of Louise Plum, where she's already said to me she's not good with technical stuff. So we'll be lucky, see if she comes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to start it off. I'll kick it off with a massive. This is one of the 8 wonders of the world. I started reading.
8th wonder of the world. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It is.
I would say that's more of a biblical miracle than an 8th wonder.
Well, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Steal my car and take the piss. Anyway,
We all know this.
so I want to quickly chat. I was reading on strengthening the CNS system, so central nervous system, because I had a bit of a meltdown, sort of midweek, because obviously I'm 37, going into 38. Before you make any funny comments, yes. Calvin and Wally itching. They're like, and I kind of had a meltdown because I was like, I should be stronger. I should be near the top. I should be competing. And yeah, so it prompted me to do a bit of reading onto something a bit more which you can control. So, and one of the things I came up with was like the CNS system, so your central nervous system. Obviously, you can strengthen the brain waves, like that, the signals that go to obviously the muscles that trigger the muscles that you use to do it. And there was a few ways that caught my attention, and one of them was velocity. So like kind of dropping down into a squat and then firing back up.
Like plyometrics?
Not necessarily plyometrics, no, because plyometrics is fast twitch fibers, and yes, it will work with the CNS, but plyometrics is body weight. There's no load. So like in regards to the strength side of things, so bear in mind this is CNS strengthening for strength training, so not necessarily for plyometrics, but so because I tried to look at how can I get myself stronger quicker, and I kind of looked at the velocity of it, which was one of the things that makes your CNS stronger. So a little technique which somebody told me years ago was feel the load of the bar first, put it down, walk away, and then come back and go to do your set. So
how long did you leave it before feeling the bar and then going back to it? It was like 5 or 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. That's African clock, mate. That's how it works. So literally picked the bar up, felt it, stepped back about 5-10 seconds and went in for the set. So I found that personally for myself. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anything of that bullshit before we start getting people commenting. I felt for me personally that got my body ready to pick up the weight. So when I picked it up the second time, everything was firing because it expected it. So I felt a lot more solid. I felt a lot more in position, and squats or whatever movement I was doing felt a lot better. But now, obviously, trying to relate that to your central nervous system, because without your central nervous system, we're fucked. Like, have any of you had central nervous system failure?
No.
I'm aware of. There's a good possibility of it.
I fucking have, and it's not pretty at all. You can't fucking do shit. But it's quite crucial to developing in the gym and your strength or whatever training you want to do. So one of the things was velocity. So I tried it with my safety squat bars this week. And the week before I did 190 kilos for 5 reps, but I struggled a little bit, and it was all right, but it felt really heavy. But then all I did was I literally changed my mindset for this week, 200 kilos, loaded the bar up, and then tried to drop down at a steady pace and then hit it hard on the way up. But to the point where it's still under control. So not hit the top and then the bar's fucking flapping about everywhere and then you lose your balance in that. So those are one of the things I'm trying. And then the other one I read up on is basically mentality. So but this is how crucial it is. Like I was quite shocked how close that your mental thinking is actually linked to your CNS. So like, for example, the only analogy I can really put is like, if you've played rugby before, you know, and you're going in for a tackle, and you think in your head, this is I'm not I'm not going to get this guy. I'm not going to get this guy. You always come off second best, always without fail.
It's full commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
How many times have we walked into the gym and gone, "Ooh,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel it"?
Exactly that. So now that apparently that links to your CNS. So when you go to the bar to deadlift, to go, oh, I'm not up for that, and then you go to deadlift, your brain doesn't send enough signals through to the muscles you need to activate it, so that you lift that weight off the floor with ease, or it moves smoothly. So it's quite I don't know what it is, but it's like I can understand now why people have little triggers before they lift.
Yeah.
So like putting a mouthpiece in, or sniffing salts, or slapping their legs, or somebody hitting their back, kind of thing. It literally triggers here, which then runs down through the central nervous system and then fires all the muscles it needs to.
It's almost like NLP. You ever come across neuro-linguistic programming?
Yes, I have.
So you're linking that small technique with what's about to happen next.
Yeah.
So NLP for me in sales is very, very crucial.
Yeah.
You know, it's those trigger points and building up the right methodology and the key processes and the key phrases and key words. So you're getting into that right rhythm, talking about stuff, and you're literally dragging that person that you're pitching to along with you. So again, NLP.
Yeah, I suppose it works in all aspects. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, I know one of the things I was taught was have a pen out when you sell into someone, because it's a shock to go, there you go, sign there. But you know, it just intrigued me a bit, so I'm going to read a bit more up on that. I mean, I didn't do a lot of it, but it's I mainly concentrated on the velocity, and then obviously trying to change my mental capacity for that, because shit, you know what I mean? I want to at least get as far as I can before I hit 40.
It definitely makes sense though, doesn't it? Because you know, like when you go to pick up a water bottle and you think it's heavier than it is, you just fucking fling it over your head or some shit like that. There is definitely that connection there. So it's like a everyday thing that you need to, you know, deal with and focus on, because yeah. So it's definitely like a real thing. So you're not just reading the pages wrong. You're actually getting some information out of those.
Yeah.
True.
How many pictures are in those books?
This is a pop-up one. But you used to, I don't know if you remember, when I first got you as a trainer,
yeah,
you used, whenever because I was chasing deadlifts, that was what I wanted to do.
Yes.
You always slapped me on the back on when I was going for a PB.
It just, I don't know what it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I know some people that completely flop under a slap on the back. So like, some people, you slap them on the back, it completely throws them out. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's like everyone has little triggers, but the main thing
always did it for me.
I looked at was like just your thinking, like not even any triggers, but just your thinking alone will send stronger signals down to the muscles that need to activate for that lift, because you'll know you're doing that type of lift because you can see it, and then therefore the brain knows already what it needs to incorporate. So it's really interesting to read. I'm definitely going to read up on a bit more of that, because that was literally just a Google search. But I'm trying to find, that's if anyone's watching this, I'm trying to find someone who's written a book on, yes, I'll be reading again, with loads of pictures, a book on the central nervous system and strengthening it. So if anybody does know anything like that, or a recommendation.
Check out, there's a guy called, I think it's Phil Richards, who does a lot of work on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Phil Richards. Yeah.
I think he's an ex-rugby player as well, but he's big on neurology, virology, and all this sort of stuff as well. So he's worth checking out. I think he's got a Facebook page. So yeah.
I'll have a look, because it definitely intrigued me, man.
In fact, he trained Eddie Hall as well at one point. He was training Eddie Hall.
Yeah, it's obviously for the neuro side of it, because it fascinates me how all your strength and your whole body movements all result into one system. And then obviously it bleeds off from that into others.
If I find it, I'll stick it in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, cool. I also passed my British Sign Language introduction.
Oh,
I was just going to congratulate on that actually.
Yeah, that was some hard reading to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty good at sign language.
Who's this pitching? Who's this pitching to, Brad?
Who's what?
So who are you signing to?
To my son. So
okay.
So he's got he failed his hearing test when he was born, and we didn't really notice anything. He's now 2, but we didn't really notice anything through COVID and stuff like that. So he was, because obviously the isolation and stuff like that, we didn't see how other kids were reacting at certain points between birth and 2 years old. And we kind of looked at, it got to the point where he was really struggling at nursery. Every time we picked him up, he was crying. We dropped him off, he was crying. He really struggled with that. So we then pulled him out of nursery because we thought he just didn't get on with the girls, or he didn't get on with the other kids in there. So we pulled him out, and then we looked at getting a nanny to kind of see if that'll be better. Yeah. Do
you mean an au pair?
No, a nanny. Not an au pair. She's not from Eastern Europe.
Olga from Sweden.
No. So yeah, but then it was little things. So like when we had there was a couple of kids' birthdays when lockdown eased off, and we started noticing that other kids were responding or talking at like they were younger than him, and they were saying words, and they were responding differently to him. And then there was one situation where he was sat, there was a balloon right next to him. Now, any child, you burst a balloon next to their ear, they burst into tears, or they
shit myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just from old age.
He didn't
yeah. Yeah, I do that without the balloon.
He didn't even flinch. The balloon burst right next to his ear, and he didn't even flinch. He just literally kept looking in, and it was just, yeah. So we started realizing there's something wrong. So we took him for tests. We went privately with it, and private care is not always the best care, because the girl that we got to do the assessment, Chester eventually picked up on the test of where to look. So he's very observant. So she kept repeating the test, and even at some point, he was looking for it, and she went, "No, not yet, Chester." So
I remember you telling me about this. I'm cracking up.
The test was actually irrelevant, and you know what the diagnosis was?
What?
If she'd said that to me, it would be the first time I punched someone like that in the face.
I was rolling when Amy told me.
The verdict was, bear in mind, Amy, my wife, took him for the test, and this woman turned around to her and went, "Yeah, no, you're just boring. He doesn't responding to you because you're boring."
She was calm, and she's like, "I don't think I'm boring."
Now, in my eyes, that's not a professional diagnosis.
No, it's not.
Is it true though?
No, it's not true. You're trying. I wasn't born yesterday, Calvin. But it's just that was the diagnosis we got. So basically, we got in contact with them. They've organised another test to take him down to test. But what we've discovered, he can hear high pitch,
yeah,
and he can hear low pitch. So he can hear my voice, but then the wife was running around the house going, "Chester." So that's the way he can hear. So in between conversational levels, he can't hear anything. So
only in mid-range.
Yeah, so we're kind of looking to hopefully get the test at the back of the eardrum, because they tested his airways, the pathways, and those are clear. So they're going to test at the back of the eardrum, and if that's the case, it's either hearing aids or a cochlear implant. And if that doesn't work, then we have to do sign language. So for now, this is why tried to learn sign language, so that we can communicate with him, because I found it very frustrating not being able to talk to my own son. So that's why I did the course.
I would have thought the implant would be for someone completely deaf, though, not just.
Not necessarily.
They can adjust certain frequencies.
No,
not necessarily.
There was a movie about that, and it was a really fucking good film. But the thing that I learned, I didn't actually know, is they don't make you hear. Like the implants, they trick your brain into thinking you're hearing things, so you're not actually.
I don't know how it works.
So he wasn't able to hear music properly. He wasn't able to it sounded like an old radio. That's what it sort of sounds like you're listening through. And it's like you can't hear exactly how we'd hear with it. But it's tricking your brain, because it's bypassing your ear completely, everything in your ear, and it's just sending frequencies into your brain that are making you hear things.
That's how they test on the eardrum. They actually stick something on the outside of your head, right where your eardrum sits, and then they send frequencies through there. So it's not even through the ear.
That's weird. So I didn't know that.
The eardrum actually picks it up from behind the ear.
Okay.
So I think that's what the cochlear implant does. But the hearing aid is directly through. So the hearing aid is what you can choose to hear or not. But I know full well if he's got a hearing aid and he's a teenager, I'll be shouting at him. You take his headphone, his fucking earpiece out.
Yeah, but you
And
can
they're like,
remove
"Oh,
the
it's something else." It's like,
the
"I'm shouting
implant as
for you." You
well.
go, "Sorry, Dad, I'm
And
here."
he just, I mean, he just ground him for not wearing his earphones, then, didn't he?
Well,
Not
this
his
is
earphones, but you know what I mean.
I'm gonna just take his hearing aid away.
Yeah.
Take his hearing away, headphones away, and say, "Right, now play your games." Chill.
Just be glad he ain't got tinnitus, mate, because that thing absolutely trashes me.
Yeah.
Like, keep me up at night and everything. It's awful.
We've got Louise in the wings waiting. Shall we bring it in?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Cool. Hopefully she's all sorted. Right, I'll bring it in now.
Now?
Says joining. We'll just wait. There we go.
Oh, something's
Hey.
happening. Hey.
All right.
Louise, can you hear us?
Can she hear us?
Oh, it's connecting.
Connecting.
Something's happening.
Give it a sec. Go. Louise,
Looks
can you
good.
hear us?
Can she hear us?
I can hear you now.
Oh yeah.
Lovely.
Hey, there she
Hey,
is.
cool.
Guys, just a quick introduction. This is Louise. She's an absolute machine.
Us.
Arms bigger than Wally's, but that's Wally's two together, so it's fine.
I mean, saying she's got bigger arms than me isn't really.
It's not a
more of an
compliment.
insult.
is it?
It's more of an insult to her, to be honest.
So yeah, Louise, welcome to our podcast, the Viking thing. Obviously, we just wanted to bring you on just to have a chat, see how your prep's going, and see how you're going, training wise. What
Joe
you're doing.
Calvin there is supposed to look.
Fucking hope not. Otherwise, I'll be that next Olympian.
Right. So, Louise, how you getting on? How's training going?
Yeah, training's going really, really well, thanks. I'm 7 weeks out from my first show, 11 weeks out from my second show, and I'm considering doing another one in Romania in November. If we're allowed.
Full calendar then, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to go for my pro card, so
Yeah.
I'm
Can
trying
you
to-
sustain that? Can you sustain, like, obviously, in that condition through all those comps?
no, I'll have to come out of it slightly after the 11-week one. I'll probably kind of just rise up my body fat slightly, then just drop back down again. You can't hold
Yeah.
that condition for that length of time.
Yeah, I was going to say, we ain't going to see much of you if you keep that condition.
I feel like I'm tiny. I mean, I'm now in a room with all these big boys. I feel like I'm tiny already.
No, it's just our heads. Our heads are massive. The rest of us, don't worry about it.
Speak for
I'm just going to
yourself,
shoot off
Brad.
after that comment. I'm going to shoot off after that comment. I leave the big boys.
But obviously, myself and Wally met Louise at the gym where I work at Unified Strength. And obviously, we got chatting, and obviously, we know quite a bit about Louise. Calvin, Jake, do you have any questions for Louise?
I've got fucking loads.
Go on then, far away.
Any appropriate questions?
Oh, then no. Look, moving on. Of course. So, first question for me is, what's the first comp in 7 weeks, and what federation is it?
It's the A1 Classic. It's affiliated with the IBFA.
Oh, is that Nicola Gilbert's show?
It's Nikki's
That's
show.
that's up my way, isn't it? Nottingham.
Yeah, Nottingham.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get over to watch that one.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's going to be my first show. I love Nikki. She's wicked.
Yeah. I remember when me and Dan Ingram, when we first got together training wise and then competing, Nick was the first one that tanned me and Dan for one of the UK BFF shows. She'd only just started tanning back then. So it was like, and she's fucking nuts, isn't she? She is.
Her tanning on roller skates and stuff. I don't know how true that is.
No, that is. I went to one show a few years ago, and she was in the sports hall tearing around on fucking roller skates with a fucking roller in her hand. Honest to
Okay,
God.
how many people did she have to tan?
Well, I think on some show days she'll do 50 to 75 people. It's literally like a conveyor belt. It's amazing to watch, but she is by far the greatest tanner in bodybuilding, hands down. I would never ever go to anybody else for a tan. Never.
See, I'm learning
She
new
is
things
amazing.
because I thought you had to tan yourself. I didn't know someone else did it
Yeah,
for
I did.
you.
No, you can do. You can buy all like the pro tan and do it at home over a couple of days. But my philosophy is you're destroying sheets at home. It fucks your bathroom up. It's a nightmare where you can rock up on show day, literally go in a little tent, stick your little, well, obviously, I'm hoping Louise hasn't got to wear a sock. That would be slightly concerning. And then she literally sprays and rollers you, does 2 coats, you step out the booth, job done.
She's brilliant. She came me for the NABA British Finals back in 2017. And I said to her, Nikki, I need a really dark tan. I've got to stand out on stage, make me really, really dark. And I had the darkest tan, but it was the most even, perfect tan. And I totally stood out. It was brilliant. She's so good.
Yeah. No, she is really, really good. Definitely. And she's a big advocate of bodybuilding. She's an I say ex-bodybuilder. I don't know whether she'll get back up on stage again or not, but she's competed herself. So she knows what to do for the competitors. She knows how important that tan is to you. Hence why, you say, I want a really dark tan, I want it even. You know you are going to get the best tan from her because she's so passionate about bodybuilding.
But that's how it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're passionate about the industry or different things.
Some men don't seem to understand or can't get their head around like the point of the tan. I mean, the tan is such an important part of the bodybuilding competition experience. You need to have the most perfect tan on stage, and that's something I get asked all the time. Actually, why do you have to be so dark on stage? And I have to explain to people time and time again. You're on stage with these really bright lights shining down on you, and if you have,
does it not help for definition?
Yeah, if you don't have a tan, of course, you'll be washed out. You won't see any of the muscles. You won't see any separation. You've worked so hard up until that point. You need to have a really good tan on stage.
Quick question: how long does it take to wash off?
Fucking weeks.
Yeah, I've got this special scrubber that I sort of use, and it's just, you look like snake skin for a good week after you.
Yeah, going back to that comment there, Louise, I think a lot of people do fall short. Tan is so important. And I think me and Danny touched on it a few weeks ago, stage presentation and posing as well. Why do you want to train for years and years, diet for 12, 16, 20 weeks, and then not put as much effort into your stage presentation and your posing? If you could be the best bodybuilder on stage, the best shape, best condition, and you can still drop places because you just can't do it right. You can't hold the right pose.
My very first show, I did not practice my posing. I was just terrified. I think I was in denial the whole time, the whole prep leading up to it. I was thinking I was going to pull out the show the day of the show. I was terrified about getting up on stage. And my stage presence was terrible. I was told by multiple people I had the best physique. My posing was horrific. So I placed love.
Yeah.
And rightly so, to be fair, because I look back now at the pictures and I think, oh, I didn't even smile. I did nothing. I was just like a rabbit caught in headlights. It was.
Yeah. So 7 weeks IBFA.
Yeah, and then
11 weeks.
2 bros.
Okay.
In London.
Yeah.
I did 2 bros. That's a British qualifier. And just see.
Can you get your pro card from that 2 bros, or do you have to get to the British final for the pro card?
I have to do that. It's just a qualifier for British final. I don't think they had out pro cards that day. I'm not entirely sure if I sit at women's physique or bodybuilding, so I'm going to have to enter both classes and see where, because I'm kind of somewhere, I'm hovering around in the middle somewhere. I'm not sure.
A lot of it will depend on how you carb up and how you look on the day as well, on which class you do better in. And again, we all hate to say it, but it's so true. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of the new federation, that's FitX, that's come out. Lot of controversy with the criteria they're putting out to the coaches, and then they're judging against their own criteria. So people aren't even placing properly in the shows because they've put this criteria out. Girls have gone to the comps meeting the criteria and they're not placing. And it's like, well, hang on. So a lot of it is, perspective and on the day, how you look and what the judge feels on the day. So you can, think you're one class, but not.
Well, it's who you're up against as well, of course. It's such a brutal sport because it's all just done purely aesthetic. It's all done on somebody else's opinion of how you look on that day as well. It's I don't know. I'm confused myself. I've looked back at some of the past 2 bros competitions this year, and some of the girls are coming in really full and big, and other girls are coming in really hard and conditioned. And I don't quite know the strategy really how to come in. I'm gonna put it in the hands of my coach. I'm gonna let him deal with everything because he's not steered me wrong so far. So I'm gonna let him just.
Who's your coach, Louise?
My coach is a guy called Afsar Chowdhury. He's Aubergine Avenger on Instagram.
Aubergine Avenger.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some sort of innuendo behind that.
Yeah, it's an old name. My son calls him Captain Cucumber. so we're calling
Nice.
that from them.
Right, okay.
We'll leave that there.
Yeah.
Before Kelvin gets too excited about some sort of fruit.
He's kind of steering my prep, and I'm in his hands basically. I'm one of these people that, you know, if you put me on a prep, you tell me what to do. I'm like a wind up toy. I just do what I'm told. So
Well,
you tell me what to do.
You're looking leaner and like more shaped each week. Every time you stick your pictures up, so it's looking like it's going really well.
That's dropping. I can't seem to hold it on at the moment.
How's your mood?
Yeah, mood is fine. Mood is fine. I'm getting quite tired though. So coming like 8 o'clock at night, I want to go to bed, but my kids are still up. I can't really leave them up.
How much cardio are you doing at the moment per day?
I'm doing 30 minutes twice per day.
Okay, so what fasted in the morning, then one sort of session after weights?
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the what's your food meal plans looking like? Sort of how many carbs per day?
I'm carb cycling, so it's kind
Okay.
of 3 high carb days and then 4 low carb days.
Just for the viewers that are watching, can you just explain the carb cycling bit, just in layman's terms?
Okay, yeah. So it's basically every other day I have a day of higher carbs, so more oats, more rice. I think that's what.
What's the numbers? Do you not know the numbers off the top of your head?
No, you know, he doesn't give me numbers. He just gives me the diet plan, and I just follow it.
Okay.
I don't work it out, but I just can't be bothered. So I just.
Perfect client. That's what it is. It's a perfect client. You just tell her what to do, she does it.
His job is to work it out for me, so I don't have to. Right now,
we'll have to get him on at some point. I'll have a chat with you at some time and see if we can get him on one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
To have a chat with him and obviously help promote him and all the rest of it. But go on, Kel.
So have you always used AFSA then? Has he always been your coach, or have you had anybody else in the past?
No, I've only had AFSA for about 18 months. Before him, I was with Maz Burns.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for years and years. I was with her for about 4 years probably. She kind of took some time out to have her baby.
I was just going to say, because she's kind of dropped off. She's dropped off the radar, hasn't she, the last couple of years? She used to be really vocal. Oh, has she?
Yeah, she went and she had twins. So her babies were small, and she just did the mum thing. She lives over in Spain. And yeah, she's well, I think she's always coached throughout, but she's just started back up bodybuilding herself now. So
okay.
Watch this space, she'll come back. She's looking amazing already. She'll take her no time. She's like, she was my biggest influence while she was my coach, because she's just incredible. Her shape,
yeah.
Body, the condition she
gets. She's very accomplished bodybuilder. So really, got a very good reputation in the industry.
Yeah, very much. I consider her a good friend. She's a lovely lady. But I kind of, as she was off doing the mum thing, busy mum with two kids, I just went over to AFSA.
Let's face it, we all need a coach.
Yeah.
Coach is like a penknife, mate. It's like having a penknife on you. Even if you know what you're doing and you've learned from other coaches, I think having a coach consistently makes
Brad, you sure you're allowed to use a penknife?
Mate, I'm from Africa. Our penknives are bigger than your toothbrushes, mate.
Like, you're not, yeah, but you now live in England. You're not allowed to use a sharp crayon.
It's such a dig. But yeah, I do think having a coach, even if you know what you're doing, I think is a necessity. I find it's you're accountable to someone, which helps you keeps you on track. And if you do something wrong, you know somebody's going to say something. And then just the knowledge you can learn.
I could do it myself, but you know, at the same time, I don't want to. I want to be held accountable. I want someone to look at me with an objective eye and just say, right, you know, you're pulling in too tight, or okay, you need to go a bit harder.
Especially as the weeks rock on and you get closer to show day as well, all that self-doubt comes in. Years ago, when you used to compete when there was no social media, you had no idea who was turning up on the day. You didn't know what other people looked like. You just literally got ready for a show, rocked up, and it was like, whoever's there is brilliant, fantastic, I'll go up against them. But now you get to see everyone's prep. You get to see what they're doing, what they're looking like each week. And I think that's a bad thing, because you're starting to know, what are they doing? What are they doing different? I don't look like that. And all this self-doubt comes in. So you need that coach to pull you to one side and say, stick to the plan. Do this, do that. It's fine.
Takes all the overthinking out of it as well. Like you said, you're told what to do, you follow it. The minute you start overthinking it, it just goes to shit. And it take all that out.
You must know, Louise, cortisol and stress has such a huge impact on the way the body looks and responds on show day. It can kill a prep.
Oh, I've been victim to that. In 2018, I prepped for 26 weeks, would you believe? Because I had this absolutely huge off season, a whole year. I piled on, I think it was nearly 60 pounds worth of, I want to say, muscle. Obviously, it was a lot of fat. I really gained a ton of weight. I decided to have a year-long massive dirty bulk because I'd kept reading and I kept hearing that all these big bodybuilders really believed in really one massive dirty bulk. So that's what I did for a year. It took me 26 weeks to lose 50 pounds, and I lost 50 pounds. But I did it, and I lost it, and I was 7 pounds heavier than I was the previous season, stage ready. So I knew that year I'd gained 7 pounds worth of muscle, and so it was totally worth it. It was a brutal prep. But 2 days before I stepped on stage, I had a massive, huge, terrible thing happen in my personal life. I won't go into details, but it was absolutely dreadful. And my body overnight gained 5 pounds of water, and I hadn't touched a single drop of food, and I hadn't drunk any water, but my legs smoothed out, and so I stepped on stage smooth, stressed, and I was diced as well.
But you literally lost that much definition. For 5 pounds of water.
5 pounds of water. 5 pounds of water when you're kind of at, like, I think I was at 6% body fat or something. Yeah. It's a hell of a lot. My legs are totally smoothed over. I was absolutely gutted. I mean, I won the show by luck, but still, I was.
Did you hammer the aldactone by any chance?
No, not at all. Didn't touch it.
I did.
I've never touched that actually. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it.
I made a catastrophic mistake. I think it was 2017. I went out to Norway with Dan Ingram. We competed for. Do you know Rob Ronaldo? I competed for the UPBF with Rob's federation. We went out to Norway. A week before, I went to see Danny, and exactly the same scenario. Something had happened. I'd piled a load of fucking water on, and this was on the Sunday. We were due to fly out on the Thursday, and I think it was about 7 or 10 pound over. And I was like, "There's no fucking point, mate. There's no way I'm going to get ready in 4 days." And he was like, "Well, there's one way we can do it. What do you reckon?" And I said, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" He was like, "Well, what have you got to lose?" So we smashed down a load of aldactone, and miraculously it dropped off. But I was hammering cardio, went keto, no carbs for 4 days, looked and felt like fucking dog shit. But the only issue was when I got to Norway, because I'd had so much aldactone, couldn't carb up, was flat as a pancake. So I got on stage and I was dry, but just no fullness, no vascularity, no nothing. And I'll never do that again.
I had 2 days out for me. It was no time to put anything in. It was so close to show day. And like I say, I literally woke up the next morning 4 or 5 pounds over, totally smooth, phoning up Mads in an absolute panic, like, "Oh my God, I can't do this. I can't get on stage." And she sort of took me off the edge of the ledge that I stood on and to throw myself off. So unhappy with everything. 26 weeks of prep. Absolutely awful. What a horrible time.
That's a hell of a lot of time to describe.
Yeah, stress is just a huge thing for bodybuilders. Any tiny little changing anything can affect you greatly.
So going back to kind of because it's unusual to have female bodybuilders. Obviously, we know now the federations are packed with bikini, they're packed with wellness. You've got the physique classes. Bodybuilding is so rare now because, it's so difficult to get to that standard, isn't it? So what tipped you over the edge to sort of go down the route of bodybuilding? When did you start? What was the catalyst for you?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I mean, I've had this asked loads, and I tell everyone, and I don't think people believe me, but I never intended to be a bodybuilder. I never actually intended to get to the stage where I am too big to compete in like regular federations, if you like. I can now only compete in specialist federations because most federations stop at train figure, therefore, and I've outgrown it. And honestly, it's never been a plan. It's just kind of happened by accident. I've just trained consistently for 10 years. I've cut and I've bulked. Obviously, I had that one huge bulk, and I've never done a bulk like that since because it was just, I looked like shit, felt like shit, and it just took too long to get off. But then after that horrible incident, my personal life went all tits up. After that show, I actually remained comp lean for about 4 months afterwards, just because I had no appetite and I couldn't, I was just highly stressed. but that seemed to really work wonders for my body randomly, because then every time I've even slightly tried to do a bulk, I've just piled on a ton of muscle, and it's really
I don't fucking rub it in.
I don't know. I mean, I just think I'm meant to look like it. I seem to have just naturally got, not that naturally, but I seem to have got really.
Now we're getting to it.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So, I mean, that obviously you don't have to answer this next question, but you've touched on it very briefly just then. And when Danny was on, we did talk about, you know, with female competition and female prep, performance enhancing drugs always come into the conversation. And Dan was dead honest, and he was like, he'll have a conversation with people and he'll say, you don't have to do it. But a lot of the females will always come to him and say, why did I not play so well? Or why did that person look a little bit different to me on stage? And it's always a case of, well, they may have tried X, Y, and Z. So is that something you've considered, done, happy to talk about, or should we just move on?
It's a difficult one, like politically, to talk about. You understand? It's not like I've always been very honest, like one-on-one, but I think on a kind of a more public forum, it's difficult to talk about it because the politics involved and surrounding it. And I think to some degree the kind of misinformation and misknowledge, and a lot of people don't understand it, therefore will because they don't understand it, they therefore think it's something really terrible as well. I just think each to their own. I think if you want to be competitive on a larger scale, again, I would never tell anyone you should do it. But I think if you want to be competitive to a higher level and standard, then you probably will need to at some point, depending on what federation you compete with. Obviously, there are natural federations out there. Then you don't touch the
I think it's each to their own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you're willing to take the risk, you take the risk. If you're not, there is natural federations, like you said. So they are.
And like I say, there's such a lot of misconceptions surrounding it. I mean, it doesn't have to be risky if you're incredibly sensible about it, and if you go with science and advice, and you're very careful and you look after yourself. I don't think it has to be risky necessarily. I think there's an element of risk in anything you do, I suppose, in any walk of life or anything. But
and again, that almost goes back to having a proper, sensible, reliable coach.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Proper sound advice, and you stick to that advice, and that's something that I've always done. I told you I'm a little wind-up robot. I will be told to do something and I will do it. I never veer off. I do exactly as I'm told all the time, which is why I've kind of I like, for example, I wouldn't ever go near a lot of stuff that I hear even bikini girls have been on cycles of train or something. I just think that's absolute insanity. I can't wrap my head around it. I wouldn't dream of going near anything like that.
Yeah, well, that is just bad advice, isn't it? And that to me, that's a sign of a bad coach who doesn't know what he's doing, because they're not ready, and they're panicking.
That's not a bad coach. That's a like someone that should be slapped on the head. I mean, it's absolutely terrible advice. There's good advice and then there's really terrible advice. No, that's you hear of it. And it's actually more common than you think as well, which is worrying.
That's YouTube for you, man.
There's a lot of misinformation. That's the problem. There's a lot of bad press about it. So people are automatically on a defensive and it's bad and all this. But you know what I mean?
I don't think it shouldn't have that reputation. I don't think personally. I mean, but yeah, it's difficult to talk about really in a public.
Yeah. I've got a question for you. It's not bodybuilding related, but it is because of the way you look. I want to know. Right, you can choose whatever one you have, but the worst comment somebody has given you, like that made you laugh about it, but like a chat up line or something stupid, that like a comment that somebody's given to you on one of your posts, just because of what you do and the way you look.
A compliment.
No. I'm not looking for compliments. I'm looking for someone that's, like the standard pickup line for some of the girls in Strong Women is, "Oh, can you pick me up?"
Oh yeah.
Like stuff like that, like something that you've laughed about, or something that's you just absolutely gobsmacked with.
People ask you for arm wrestles in Lidl.
Oh, you know what? I've just been this morning. I was on a dating show.
Yes. Is this what you were filming for today?
Yeah, a random producer just got in touch with me on Instagram a couple of weeks ago and asked if I'd be on this dating show, and I was like, oh God. I don't want to go on a date, but if you're going to pay me, all right. You know?
What is the structure to this show? How
Is
does
it
it work?
prostitution?
Sorry. No, and it was all food based as well. And I just thought, oh, if I get to eat something off plan as well, that could be quite fun. So they made me arm wrestle the guy on camera.
Yeah.
And I hope you beat him.
I did beat him, yeah.
Well, that date doesn't go to a second one, does it?
I was just going to say, yeah, so that poor bloke's now at home crying himself to sleep.
The producers are at home like footage.
Mate, this is fucking gold.
The standard one is, you know, can you lift me up? Yeah, can you pick me up? Or could you squeeze my head with your thighs? You get that?
Oh, do you know what they say? You know what? They say that because they see those watermelon videos with girls crushing watermelons between their
It's a
thighs.
terrible idea to ask someone to do that, though, if you've seen the watermelon videos.
Their heads so easily.
Oh,
It's ridiculous. Calvin gets comments all the time, but I can't speak about it because he was a Navy.
Navy.
He gets so angry. Gets so angry. Louise, what's the future look like for you? So after these 3 comps, obviously, hopefully a pro card, but then obviously afterwards.
I mean, if I get my pro card, I'll probably retire from bodybuilding. I'm quite interested in moving into powerlifting, if I'm honest, because I've done the strong woman thing. I tried that for a year. That was fun. Did quite well. I'm really keen to. Well, Brad, you were there when I did my deadlift. I'm kind of keen to sort of try and progress my deadlift on. I think I've got.
210 was it?
210, yeah. I think I've got a 230, 235 in me. I'm sure of it. Because the 210, and I wasn't wearing a suit or anything, so I think I could probably.
You don't need a suit till you hit.
I was just going to say you're definitely in right company because with the guys here and obviously Dave Morris, who's just won. What did he win?
M3 category, wasn't it? So
yeah, so
that geezer won
I was just going to say, yeah, for his, you know, for the masters category in powerlifting, he did. Was it deadlift and
bench?
Bench.
I mean, so you've got a stack of knowledge here ready. Whenever you're ready to press the button, you've got guys here that will teach you all the techniques and take you to the next level on powerlifting.
I think I'd like to give powerlifting a go. I want to be a hybrid athlete. I want to try and do all 3 and see if I can succeed in all 3 of them. Yeah.
Like in strongman as well.
You've got the deadlift narrowed down.
Yeah, deadlifts. Yeah, I love it. I love a deadlift. And squat, I mean, I think I can improve on. My bench, I've torn my shoulder tendon, so I've got to be a bit careful with that. I need that operated on before I can really do anything more with that. But I did do. Sorry, did you say about strong women?
Yeah.
I didn't think you said.
Yeah. So you fancy?
I've done 2 strong women competitions already.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, what I don't enjoy about strongman/women is the moving events because I just like standing still and doing it, and I find that easier.
Well, like the medley stuff.
Yeah, the moving events are the worst.
And I end up hurting myself. I pulled the bicep tendon and all kinds of stuff.
That's standard strong woman injury.
I don't like being injured. So
we had 2 lads competing this weekend in the Suffolks, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And one of them's pulled a bicep.
Who's that?
It's just injuries are part and parcel of strongman, strong woman stuff. It happens. Like I didn't even do any competition. So when we did that truck pull, my elbow is still fucked to this day. Like, and that was what fucking 4 years ago.
I'm surprised your knee isn't fucked as well.
My knees were fucked way before that. Yeah, still having issues.
So it's the powerlifting side then, yeah?
Yeah, give it a go. I'd like to.
So the pro card is literally just is that kind of, you don't want to do anything with it, you just want to get it to say, I did it?
Yeah, basically.
So it's bragging rights. It's bragging rights.
Well, to be fair, shout out to Louise. She does train people as well. So like Louise does have her own gym where she works out. Was at the back of your house, isn't it?
Yes, in my garden.
Yeah, so it's in the garden. It's nicely done up, all brick built, fancy artwork on the wall. She's got her own gym and obviously put it out there for anyone who's watching. If you're looking for a female PT that looks like Louise, hit her up. She's not as nasty as she looks, but then yes, I haven't trained with her, so I'm not gonna put words in her mouth. So
what's your Instagram account, Louise?
I'm LP_muscle.
There we go. So anyone checking out Instagram, have a look on that one. Give her a follow.
Thanks.
She's an absolute sweetheart. She was really nice to me as well. No one likes me, so
No.
uh,
You're like the sad charity case that everyone drags
Exactly.
around.
exactly. She was super nice.
It's
Didn't
like,
make a Wish Foundation though, wasn't it? Like Make a Wish Foundation. Brad brought his weird mate over, and Louise was really nice.
Yeah. It's like when you two go to the gym, it's like of mice and men.
Listen, mate, we made some really good content, right? It was like Laurel and Hardy. This is the dream team.
You fucking wish it was.
Yeah, shut up, fucking Justin Bieber.
Or like fucking stepbrothers.
But yeah, Louise, guys, any last questions for Louise? Do you have anything?
If there's anyone out there that wants to get into, like a female out there that wants to get into your like disciplines and things like that, what would be one thing of advice that you'd give them to get them started?
I'll probably just don't be afraid to go into the boys area of the gym, right, like the free weight section, because I think when I first started at the gym, you see girls just doing the rounds on all the different machines, because you have these kind of pods of boys, normally kind of late teen, early 20s, just all like little gangs of them. And actually, if you're a girl on your own going into the gym, it can be a little bit intimidating. These guys hog all the benches and use all the dumbbells and whatever, and that can be really off-putting. And actually, some of the girls that I train in my gym, they say the same thing. That's why they come to me, because they're too scared to go into the weight section of a commercial gym. So I would just say to any girl, just don't be scared. You've got as much right to be in there as the boys. Just elbow them out of the way and to fuck off and just let me do it. I just put my earphones in and I just ignored them. They'd be looking at you and kind of, trying to, they're slightly intimidating.
Trying to out bicep curl you, yeah.
Yeah. When you're warming up on their max deadlift.
It's different now, of course. I stroll into a gym and it's like the Red Sea party or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've made it, Louise. That's when you know you're at the top.
That's because she's farted, though.
Protein farts, I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prep fart.
Don't be intimidated. Get in the gym. You've got as much right to be there as any other boy. And then probably the second piece of advice, you asked two, but I'll give you two anyway. It's just stay the course. Don't give up. Because you won't see results immediately. It takes months and months and months to see any little change.
So from when you first started training to getting on stage for the first time, what was that time frame?
That was 4 years.
There you go.
Solid training. And I mean solid 5-6 times a week training, but 4 years.
And what class did you do first time round?
I did a pure elite show, so I did a fitness show, and I went in at the top level. I was muscle model when I went in.
Okay.
The biggest degree they've got at their competition. Yeah.
Yeah. So to sum it up, basically, if you're a girl and want to get into the same industry, don't give a fuck. Push the boys out of the way and start now. 4 years time, you could start. So, no. Cool, Louise. Thank you very much for coming on. All right. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Can we get you back in a few weeks? Obviously, we'll get your prep out the way, and maybe either between the 7-weeker and the 11-week, we'll bring you back in to see how the first show's gone, bit of feedback on that, and then what you're doing for the 11-weeker, and get a bit of an idea on how that prep's going, what you're going to change prep-wise, if you're going to change anything, just so we can get a little bit, for me as well, just to get a bit of an idea on how that's gone, what you're going to do for the next one, how things are going, all that type of stuff. So if you're happy to come back, I'd be really pleased to get you back in.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, something like that. I'll drop you a message anyway, sort of after your first comp, and then we'll organise something. As long as you're up for it, obviously, and you're not too drained, and the kids haven't run you ragged. All right. Thanks, guys. Louise, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure I'll see you in the gym before you have your comp. Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Take care.
Cheers.
Calvin, look at you chucking that monster there. She is so nice. She is really nice.
She's super nice.
Like
it's so refreshing to see that as well, because there is not a lot of top quality female bodybuilders. The sport itself, like I said earlier, when we compete and put shows on, you might get one or two in the bodybuilding classes. So it's nice to see there's more people coming through.
For sure.
Camera doesn't do her justice either. She
No,
is
she's a
fucking hench, mate.
Yeah,
she is
an absolute unit.
like it's unbelievable. I mean, you can see like the camera there. You can see the shape she's in there, and the camera is shit.
There's the first time I met her when she walked into the gym, when she first walked in. She literally walked in, and the sentences went, "Hey, how are you?" She was like, "Hi, I'm Louise." I went, "Are you sponsored?" There was no other conversation apart from that. It's just. Like,
I remember coming in, and you were like, "We've got a sponsored athlete." Didn't even tell me. We've got a sponsored athlete. You need to meet her.
No, but honestly, she, the way she looks, her personality does not match. She is literally the nicest person you'll ever meet. No. So friendly, so chatty, always willing to help as well for advice, anything.
You know what I mean? She stopped her training, like mid training, to come and talk to me for like 10-15 minutes.
That's mad.
People stop doing something just to stare at that.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, she's in incredible shape.
How much fucking monster is in that can, Calvin? Jesus Christ.
I'm sipping it slowly.
There's actually nothing in it. He's just doing it for the camera.
Yeah.
It's like those Coke bottles that were moved. That actually you move them.
That meme I put in the group that nobody actually fucking responded to, which we could have capitalised on.
I was thinking about doing it, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not editing that.
Anyway, for those who are watching, guys, we have our official award ceremony photo shoot.
Super excited for that.
So for those of you who didn't believe that we won an award, we've got photos to back it up, and we're going to collect the trophy and the certificate. So that'll be, when was it? 25th of July.
25th, I think, of July, yeah. What's the dress code? What's the dress code?
Actually, wear a shirt.
We're Vikings, mate. There's no dress code for us.
I'm gonna dress up quite nice, but casual.
I think jeans, button-up shirt. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a black.
Okay, so so I can go jeans, waistcoat, shirt.
That's what I was gonna do. Yeah.
I think we all agree on that. Yeah.
Waistcoat.
Yeah, of course. Wear a waistcoat, man. Makes me look slim.
I think you're getting corset and waistcoat mixed up, Brad.
I'm gonna show you, right? This
waistcoat buttons at the front, your corset strings up at the back, mate.
This is the only shirt I own.
No, you're not coming as a
you're not wearing that.
That'll be.
You have got your wedding shirt, mate.
I haven't.
I
got rid of it. It didn't fit. I squeezed into it.
Is that
you've got from now to the 25th to come buy yourself?
Yeah, we'll do a GoFundMe page so we can get Wally a fucking shirt.
Is that a wool shirt as well? Is that actually like a real flannel shirt?
Yeah.
Man, those things are fucking sick though. You should just wear that.
I only wear flannel shirts, and they're always red.
I think it's that. I swear that's the only colour.
Go to the woods, fuck each other.
What?
Oh man,
what?
I'm just gonna go and buy a morph suit and just put the
out of interest
logo on the front and back.
It's the 25th of July, isn't it?
Yes.
So what time? You remember?
I don't know the time, Dave. I've sent an email to confirm.
Are we staying over the night?
We might as well, mate. We might as well celebrate.
I'm gonna get a hotel for the Sunday night, I think.
Whiskey bar.
Calvin gets a hotel. We all crash his room, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a suite.
Sleep in the bathtub.
No, we'll sort it out closer to the time. We'll just get like a group booking or something. I'm not sharing with any of you bastards because I don't like people snoring. So
no,
I snore like a fucking wounded animal.
You're having a room further down the other end of the fucking hotel, man.
Oh yeah, the size of my beak looks like a midget's elbow.
So we'll organise that, and then that's photo shoots. It's the awards. We'll get given the awards and stuff like that.
Right, to eat a few drinks.
And then
take a terrible picture as well.
I think we should celebrate.
Have you had that gold monster yet, Wally?
No, I can't find it anywhere. I have actually been looking. I can't find it anywhere.
Well, the gold one.
Yes, the new one. Well, it's not new. It's new to England anyway. Because we're
is it a sugar-free one, or is it not?
Yeah, it's an ultra. It's an ultra. Yeah.
And it's gold.
Yeah,
I've seen the mule. There's a mule one, isn't there?
Yeah, that's more of a bronze, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nice. That's ginger beer.
Yeah, but it's got fucking insane amounts of sugar in it.
What? Yeah, but I'm not. I said I've seen it. I'm not fucking drunk it.
Fuck off.
Why don't you put your other fucking headphones on? Jesus.
We're going to be talking about
nice of you one.
Fucking hell, you can imagine Kelvin. I wonder if Kelvin actually talks like this when he's having a row with his missus.
Oh,
Love you.
You know those headphones you wanted? You know those headphones? They're gone, mate.
Get fucked. Mate, I gotta say though, them headphones, fuck me. They're so good.
Nothing.
You want to, you wish you fucking could.
Anyways, so
Moving on.
let's talk about something else.
oh, but how about quick touch base on the Suffolks then? Because we had Mark and Matt, didn't we?
Yes, Matt's obviously a bit disappointed in his own personal appearance on it.
Yeah, but Matt's
Was it
one
his
of those
first
people
comp
that.
though? Second comp.
So second comp, he didn't finish last. He actually did better placing than he did in his first comp, which is an improvement.
Progress then.
What did he get? What did he?
Matt is incredibly critical of himself as well. He could come first and still.
Out
beat
of how many
himself up.
people though?
Eighth out of 11.
That's still fucking good for a second
But
comp.
you know what the end of the day is? Like people put too much pressure on placement with strongman. It's not that. It's the fact that he turned up, he rocked up, and he fucking gave it his all.
And did he do all the events?
Yeah, he did all the events. Yeah. And then hats off to him. He smashed it. He did fucking well. And the boys got the mentality of, I'll be good or I'll die at this sport. So
it's like I put in the group earlier. It's the learning curve. All these events are so technical. It's not just a case of turning up and moving big heavy weights about. There's so much technique. This is what I keep saying to you guys about getting more content put together. It's all about the technique for what you lot do.
Yeah.
And if you've not got that technique, that can have a huge impact on your performance.
Well, I mean,
and I think they're all starting to realise that now.
Yeah, just to give you an example with the log, once you've got it to your chest, you've got a line like this. There's a gap like this where you've basically got to push the log up at an angle, not straight. So once you've got it here, you've actually got it way in front of your body. So if you try and push it straight, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So like just a small little gap like that to push up at a slight angle, then drive your head through as you hit the top, then you straighten up. That's kind of where it kills a lot of people, like in the press.
You think of that for every single event these guys did today, all those little techniques and little tips, when they start to develop that expertise for each medley or for each event, they're going to get better. After one or two comps, that's still fledgling, that's still starting, so fair play.
He's done two comps in a sport which it demands 7 years to reach the top. You know what I mean? That's the minimum standard. Like there's a few odd people, don't get me wrong, like Terry Holland's got in and he did 2 years and he was straight at the top of World Strongest Man, but he was a professional rugby player before that. So he was already a top level athlete. So you can't judge your career when you've not been a professional athlete to think, 2 years I can do strongman. That's not the case.
Yeah.
I remember him
conditioning. It's the technique. It's
I've seen Matt train as well. Matt trains like a fucking beast.
I've trained with him, and he fucking killed me.
It's not about the training. I think this is what I keep sort of saying time and time again. For these type of events, it's all about the technique for each event. And each show, from what I see, they don't always have the same criteria.
No.
They'll have a different movement or a different...
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll turn up and never even know what you're actually going to do, what the events are. So how do you train for that?
You look at Ultimate Strongman, they did the basic things and they completely flipped it. And that brick lift you were talking about, like they're just... Although the basis is the same, it's completely different.
Yeah, they change it on the day. Like one of the comps I had, we had finger fingers to finish the comp off with 150 kilo finger fingers to push over and push back. But because of the rain, we ended up doing stone to shoulder.
Yeah.
It's a completely different movement, different technique, and we weren't allowed tack for the stone. And anybody knows who does Atlas stones without tack, it is a bicep killer. Yeah. Because you've got to give a piece of concrete the biggest hug in the world to pick it up. So it's crazy. Like Matt absolutely smashed it, and if Matt, you're watching this, well done, mate. We're all very proud.
Insane.
Yeah.
And then, Mark, unfortunately, he was coasting for third place and tore his bicep on a frame carry. Yeah. Painful
Yeah,
injury.
fuck that, man.
Yeah. It's just pure unlucky, that, but...
Again, it's what we were saying earlier. injuries are just part and parcel of strongman.
Yep.
When you're trying to pick up that stupid weight and move as quick as you can with it, something is going to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if like he's in the running for third place, he's gonna put a bit more into certain things, and the technique's gonna probably go down a little bit because he wants to push that a little bit harder. And then maybe, it's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, I spoke to him afterwards. He was happy with his performance up until that point. Obviously, he was a bit gutted, but he literally, I can't say it enough. And I told him, I said, we've still got your back. We still support you. Doesn't matter. Take your 6 weeks recovery. Take what you need.
Yeah.
And then come stronger. Come back, fight hard, work hard, and that's all we want. That's Viking mentality.
It is definitely
the fact
a
he was
big
in the running for third, anyway, it proves that he's getting better tenfold. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's continuously getting better. The fact he was in the running for third. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely a big blow to self-esteem, but there's nothing you can do about an injury, is there? Like if he had messed up the lift with a technique or something, then he could work on fixing it. But he pushed himself past his limit, and his body just, it was like, oh no, we can't handle this, and it was an injury. If it could have happened to anyone, not just him.
Yeah.
See, so. At that point,
you know what? Nevertheless, we're very proud.
Yeah,
we're very proud.
Yeah,
they turned up, they rocked up, they gave it their all, and that's all we ask.
Well,
that's all anybody wants to do in any sort of comp. You give it your all, and if you're not the strongest on the day, you weren't the strongest. You just got to go back, reset, rework, and then come back again.
Fucking right. Yeah.
This is what people need to remember. There's always going to be someone better.
Well, going back to what I said earlier on about when there was no social media for bodybuilding shows, you didn't know who was turning up on the day. So you can only train for what you need to do and then just perform the best that you can on the day.
Back in the day, strongmen never knew what events they were doing. They would turn up, open the back of the truck, and only then work out what the hell they were doing.
I've seen some crazy events.
They need to bring that back. They need to bring that back.
Seen some crazy events, mate. That one, I can't remember, it was a long time ago, but they're bending the bars around their necks.
Oh, isn't that a circus strongman though?
No, they actually did that at Worlds, mate.
What is that, the 1980s ones?
They started off, on the bar on their head. Like this.
Someone trying to bend it around their neck.
Like that, and twist it, and then take it off and like hold it like that, and that has to be straight, that kind of thing. I was that's crushing vertebra.
It was insane, mate.
But but apart from that, Mark, if you're watching, we're very proud, mate. You did us proud. You did well. You smashed it, big boy.
Yeah, mate.
Now, the man of the hour, we're going to talk about quickly. Dave Morris. Damn the Gorilla on Instagram. If you do not follow this man, follow him. He is like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he could part the Dead Sea.
He's making waves, that geezer, mate.
Yeah, so
he's fucking insane.
He recently won gold in both of his events in powerlifting. He took the UK All Federation records for Masters. Obviously 3 SHW, which Masters 3 is obviously above a certain age. So, and he got the best bench, which was 210. Sorry, I'm reading the message from him, because I can't remember what he did. But best bench, he got 210 kilo bench, and his best deadlift was 305. And
can I just put as well?
All of this is unequipped. Yeah. So go on.
Can I just add the 305 deadlift? He said he wasn't overly happy about because he's had better. I was reading it and I'm like,
but he did say that's the best numbers he's pulled post injury. So he had a crash.
Insane.
So he had a crash and he had to recover from that. Yeah. So big up, Dave.
Absolutely, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, for a man to still be pulling those type of weights. I mean, what is he now? 53, 52?
I think so, something like that.
Something like that, and he's still smashing. But he's pulling these weights, and what's incredible is he's pulling these weights raw. There's no fucking belt. There's no belt. I pull 320 with a belt, and to pull it without one is just insane.
No, it's fucking. That's also inhuman.
The geezer's an absolute monster and so incredibly strong. And he's the nicest bloke I think I've ever met.
Yeah, and if anybody knows him, invite him to your barbecue. He brings enough meat to feed an entire flat.
Oh, he fucking does, right?
Most of it.
Flats. Not just, and that's just for himself.
It was
Honestly, he will do anything for anyone. That bloke, he is the nicest person I think I've ever met.
Yep, for sure. I remember the
He doesn't
meetup.
look
That
like-
was the first time I met him. So he was.
He doesn't look like he should be approached at all, but yeah, he's such a nice bloke.
He is. He was just talking to everyone. He was just having a chat. He was
Yeah.
conversating with everyone. He just wants to be involved, isn't it? He'll get his training done, but he'll have a laugh with you while he's fucking doing it as well.
Oh yeah,
You fucking all right there?
yeah, dying. Oh. I've got hay fever, so I'm coughing and vaping. I've got hay fever as well, so I'm like trying to vape and I'm coughing at the same time, and it's like ruining me.
Here's the fucking idea then. Don't vape.
Yeah,
but then
nobody cares because you got a new car, and nobody cares about you.
He's still fucking salty about that.
Better about it. Better. I'm in a lot of debt because.
Dalvin, what's your prep? Are you still on track or?
Yeah, 18 weeks this week, so
Yeah,
long time to
You're
go.
coming to watch you in a speedo. So. Count your lucky stars.
What, used to wearing a Speedo? That's why fucking.
Okay, me wearing the speedo. Calvin's on stage.
I mean, it's going to be in October. You might be a bit chilly, but
Mate,
Might,
we're going to be backstage
might
with you lot. I'm going to get all of that tanning fucking roller, and I'm just going to go mental with it.
I'm buying glitter. I'm buying the finest glitter I can find.
you ain't getting anywhere near backstage.
Yeah,
Do you know what the issue is with the glitter? I just got a sudden image when you just mentioned glitter. You ever watch Monsters University?
What the
And they all get caught at the end, and all that
Oh,
paint
yeah.
comes out with glitter and flowers. That's going to be Calvin when he walks out from backstage. Me and Wally used to go.
Yeah, I've got one of these little blowers for work. It's
Oh, yeah?
it's like a reverse Hoover. It's about this big, and I'm going to bring that and just fill it full of.
You ever seen those T-shirt guns
That's
they
what I
take to
was
events?
thinking
They fire the
about.
T-shirts like a big glitter ball.
And the funny thing is, me and Wally are going to walk in after behind it, going.
No, it's gone really well this week. Another week down, so head down, full prep mode. 18 weeks to go. Coming in nice and tight each week. So weights are still staying pretty cool as well. So I'm happy with strength wise at the moment. So yeah, it's all good, on track.
When you're closer to the comp, do you have cheat days still, or do you get rid of those completely?
So at the moment, a Saturday, I am having there's a lot of controversy about cheat meal because the psychology behind it is cheat meal. It makes you think you're cheating on your plan, but it's such a wide. It's what everyone calls it, the cheat meal. So yes, at the moment, I'm still having on a Saturday cheat meal. Couple of hours, I'll just have a load of crap just to sort of reset my metabolism. But it's also the psychology behind it as well. For me,
Yeah.
knowing I've got that little window of opportunity on a Saturday evening to work to, get to Saturday, do my training session, get home, chill out. I know what food I can have, and then Sunday morning, back on it, crack on. So,
I'd like the same as work. You start Monday and you know Friday is going to be the day you've got the weekend. So you work your nuts off till Friday and then switch off.
Yeah.
It's the same
Absolutely.
principle, isn't it?
absolutely. But yeah, but going back to that question, Jake, when it gets to, for me, depending on how my prep's going, generally speaking, it will be about 6 weeks out and I'll stop the cheat meals. So with the 6 week, then it's literally nailed on.
All right. Brad, what the fuck are you doing giving the death stare over there? Like, I was just sitting there like this. It was like, fuck.
So intense.
This is concentration look, Jay. This is what I'm in trouble at school.
Yeah.
I've been there all week.
I'm concentrating, mate. Cover's talking, so I'm trying to like listen. You know what I mean? It's my look. I can't change my look. You know what I mean? If I walk around with a broken smile all day, I'll just be weird. Imagine.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Yeah.
I have to concentrate when people talk. I'm like,
Is that how he's reading a fucking book like that? It's just,
Yeah.
It looks like he's having a shit.
you're lucky. You're lucky I don't stick my tongue out at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
Bit of blue
fucking
steel.
seductive.
Oh, crikey.
Fuck it.
You're all a bunch of bellends anyway, so
Yeah. I'm so much rebelling. I'm tempted to drive around your house, toot my new car outside, and just drive off.
There will be road spikes on my road. And if not road spikes, I will fucking pelt rocks at it every time you go past.
Oh, fucking hell.
I've been talking about getting a Ford Ranger for years.
Oh, what?
For years. No, you haven't. You haven't.
Yeah, I
You've
have.
spoken about it. No, you've spoken about it.
He's never mentioned it ever.
He
No, he
mentioned
hasn't.
an F-150. I've never heard a Ranger. That's why I was
Thank you.
surprised.
Thank you. Right? Because every time I come around yours, Wally, we talk about me wanting to get a Ford Ranger. Yeah?
Okay, what are you saying?
Yeah. And then
Look lovely next to my
you want
Chevy.
for Christmas, you're going to get charcoal.
Yeah, it looked lovely next to my Chevy C10 as well. But throw that, that's coming back next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
You can't drive either of them. No, you can drive a Ranger if you want.
No,
C10's mine.
No,
No
I
one
don't
drives a C10.
I don't want to. I'll just stick with my license ban.
I might be getting it wrapped, so I can build a full limited sign off. You can put it
You
on
know
the push
what?
bike if you want.
I was just going to say, when I came out the gym this afternoon, there was, have you seen the Ford Transit little mini courier vans?
Yeah.
There was a gunmetal grey one with a red stripe down it. It looked smart as fuck. I thought, I wonder how much one of those would cost and how we'd get it wrapped. Did I see in our group, there was one of the ambassadors works for a wrapping company?
Yeah.
No, they work for a sign writing company. They don't
Was
do
it sign
vehicle
writing?
wraps, yeah.
Right, okay. So it's not vehicle wraps then.
No.
My
I've got a lead on vehicle wraps. I have got a lead on
Have you?
vehicle wraps. Yeah.
I'm going to look in to see how much one of these little mini Ford Transit couriers cost.
it's going to be the vehicle wrap. You look in a minimum, because I've looked already. It's a minimum of $3,000.
Mm.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Not my lead.
It's an entire it's an entire vehicle wrap. It's not the design is printed. It's not like you can get normal vinyl stickers. You can get normal vinyl stickers which are cheap, which you just stick on. But an actual wrap of the vehicle, they have.
Oh, you're talking about a livery.
Crevice and everything.
Yeah.
I used to do
Yeah.
it. I used to do it with my mom when we worked for a signage business, and it is
Yeah.
a fucking nightmare to put on a vehicle. So
You're
it's
talking about the
minimum
design.
$3,000.
And plus,
You're
it's
talking about
only.
the design you put in chat, and
Yeah.
The design I did on the vehicle, my brother designed that, and he sent it to me, and he can print it, and I think he charged me 13,000 rands in South Africa, which I think.
that's 10p, isn't it?
But I don't know what I converted it to, but it was something like £3,500–4,000. But that was without sticking it on, because he can send it to me wrapped, and I can apply it to the vehicle, but I don't have time to sit there and do that. You need at least 2 or 3 days.
The issue
I
is
used to do
also.
sign
It comes in
writing.
panels. It comes in panels. So you stick one panel on, you heat that up, you put it on, then you line the next one up, and you do it again.
I used to do it.
On the windows and.
I used to do it, but I'm not good at vehicle wraps. I'll fuck it up. Like, I used to be able, I can do sign writing like pieces.
Yeah, Calvin, you're
I
looking at
can't-
about
I can't
$3,000,
do it.
mate. $3,000 to get a car wrapped.
Okay.
And
Well,
it
I'll
only
have a look
lasts
into
3
that.
years, so you've
I
also
mean, I
got to think about that.
definitely want to get. That's why I want to get. I was looking to get company vehicles for Viking Forge once we're up and in a decent position, and have Ford Rangers as the company vehicles, and have them all wrapped in Viking Forge stuff and all the rest of it. But that's in the pipeline, obviously, as we've got to be doing a lot better than what we're doing.
That's
now.
way down.
But eventually, we will be driving around in a posse of fucking Viking Forge.
Raptors.
Yeah, no, not Raptors. Raptors is too expensive.
I was gonna what? Raptors.
But there
Man,
might not be by the time we get there. There might be another fucking Ford Ranger out, a different type, but.
they're discontinuing all their cars though, so it probably won't fucking exist by the.
To
be fair-
we have to get electric.
To be fair, I've been looking. You can buy every body modification to make it look like a Raptor anyway.
Yeah, but it's not the same, is it? You could do that to a
Yeah, it
Fiesta to
is.
make it look like an RS, but it's not.
Well, yeah, but I'm not saying go and buy a fucking Skoda and put a Raptor kit on it. I'm saying buy another Ford Ranger and put a Raptor kit on it. So then a Ford Raptor, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's not the same. It's like kissing your sister. It tastes the same, but you know something's wrong. It's
Yeah, well.
right.
well,
My sister's not very good looking, so.
don't know what they do in SA, mate, but that's not acceptable here.
It happens here all the time, more than it happens in SA.
Well, that's why Brad's got a towel.
News
Right,
to
chaps,
me.
I'm gonna start wrapping mine up tonight anyway.
What, your
It's about
towel?
time you did, mate. You've got enough kids.
Huh?
By the time you did, you've got enough fucking kids, mate.
I mean, you got one of my own
Right,
that I
cool.
know of.
Right, it's been a pleasure, boys.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks
Nice
for
one.
watching.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in 2 weeks' time for the next one.
Peace.
Yeah, boy.
Take care, guys.
See you later, dudes. Take care.